What's up, y'all? So today we're doing a extra special video. If you noticed, whenever we did the Hoosier Downcountry, I did not post a race recap video, and that is because I wanted to wait to announce the 2025 date to coincide with the video. This video is kind of a two-part. The first part, I'm gonna talk about how the 2024 race played out, and then we're gonna transition into talking about the 2025 event and what's changed with it. We're pretty excited about all the changes we've made, and we'll get into those. For the 2024 event, there was 3 distances. There was the 70-mile race. There was the, was it 50?
You made the routes, man.
I did make the routes. 50, and then there was a 30-mile race. I raced the 70-mile version. This race was really special for me because I've always wanted to have a endurance mountain bike race locally here in Brown County. The races, all 3 races started the same way. It basically starts off, you ride out a gravel road from the start. Funny enough, Ed is one of my friends who I met at Ozark Gravel Doom. The first year I raced Ozark Doom, we rode basically the whole first day together. I invited him out for the race and it was awesome. He actually decided to come out. So the race started and I was expecting it to be like a fairly slow rollout at the beginning. And I was like chatting with somebody because I was a third of a race promoter at the same time I was doing the race. And then all of a sudden, like, he just starts sprinting like from the jump. And I was like, what are we? Because like I pull out of the start line and I'm just like, what's happening? Like, because they're like way up the road. And I was like, what is going on? I panicked a little bit and I sprinted to catch up. And later Ed told me that he does that at every race because he thinks it's funny. So if you ever race Ed, he will just start sprinting right from the start of the race, which is, I don't know, it is kind of funny. But
gotcha.
Yeah, he did get me ultimately in that scenario. And then we got like 2 or 3 miles down the road and my bike stopped shifting. Bummer. For Hoosier Downcountry, I elected to ride my Allied BC40. It was a week after racing Shenandoah 100 where I had raced the Epic 8. I really wanted to get a race in on the BC40 just so we could make our comparison video content. And definitely both bikes are the right choice for our event. If you have a 120 XC bike, like that's a bike that makes sense for Hoosier Downcountry. Anyway, my derailleur stopped working. Like it stopped shifting. And I was like, what is going on? I already had this stressful start because of Ed. And then we're about to start like the first climb of the day that kind of was gonna separate the race out. And I'm literally just like, pulled the battery off and put it back on. And that fixed it, luckily. Super stressful start to this event. I just don't seem to be having a good shake at it at this point. Make it back up and finish the climb. At the top of the climb, there's only 4 of us left in the front. Austin, Sean, Ed, and myself. Sean and Austin are 2 local racers here who you might have heard me mention in other videos. And just for context, I think we had like 30 people sign up. So it wasn't like there was like a million of us out there.
It was like a nice small grassroots, like
super grassroots. We've been doing races for,
this is year 4.
Year 4. All of our races kind of started out this way. So I'm expecting this next year to obviously be a lot more people, but you always have to start out somewhere. One of the things that I like about the route is that you get to ride across Lake Monroe. So normally if the lake is too high, that's what you're seeing on screen is just completely flooded, but September through like November, it's low enough that you can ride through it. And I just think typically, I think it's one of the coolest route options in the area. That lake crossing is pretty crucial to making this route work. So I just think it's a cool little highlight of the route. The 4 of us rode together all the way to Crooked Creek, which is is that like 5 miles, right? Yeah, it's 5 or 6 miles. It's a hand-built backcountry trail. Me and Ed are doing the 75-mile race, and Sean and Austin are doing the 50-mile race. The 50-mile race, it all does the same thing until a split towards the end of the race. So we're all together, and Sean jumped out in front of us right before the Crooked Creek Trail to get the whole shot, which was kind of funny. We just kept charging ahead, and Sean eventually decided to let me and Ed go around. I've mentioned this in other videos, but I was feeling really good at this point. And I think it was probably the best I've ever felt in a bike race before. I just felt like I had unlimited energy. We went, all of us in that group rode the Crooked Creek in like a top 10 Strava time, just super fast through there. The conditions were unreal. It was like clouds of dust. It was so fast. I elected to use the Team Edition Maxxis Aspen tires, the same that I rode at Shenandoah. There's not a ton of sharp rocks or anything here, so there's a bunch of rocks, but they're not sharp. You're more worried about them being slick than you are about them being sharp. So it was a perfect tire for the event. And so me and Ed rode together through Combs Road, headed south towards the Hoosier National Forest trails. There's a funny clip where Ed literally almost crashes on Combs Road. I actually, unfortunately, a couple people crashed there during the race. The trail just kind of like disappeared, and then like you can't see it, but then like instead of there being like a road, it just like a hole happens.
And it's called Combs Road, but it is very far from a road. It
used to be a road
a long time ago.
Yeah.
And now it's a trail that just occasionally disappears.
So what me and Ed are riding towards the Hoosier National Forest horse trail section, and this section of trail is a horse trail, but it's like fun to mountain bike on, and we mountain bike on it a lot actually. It's basically just super steep up and downs. Some of the wildest downhills that we have are out there, completely unpredictable. Me and Ed get like a third of the way into it, and he starts to ride away from me up one of the, I think it's like a 500-foot climb. All the climbs we have here are short, but they're incredibly steep. He pulled away on the Trail 4 climb, and then I was just thinking to myself, like, that's all good, I'm feeling good, and he ended up running into a horse or something. I was able to catch back up to him, unfortunately for him, and from there we rode together again. And then it kind of flipped, and I was starting to feel better than Ed was. We finished the horse trail section. On one of the last horse trails, I put a big gap into him on, and then going into the final trail section, Nebo, which is like 8 miles. It was the original mountain bike trail in the area. I finished Nebo and rode in and ended up winning the race against Ed. It was super fun to race him. That was one of the most fun races I've ever done. The 50-mile race skipped all of the horse trail portion, and we actually finished the race an hour faster than I expected it to go, if that makes sense. I thought it was a great grassroots day, but for 2025, we're gonna level it up a little bit. 2024 was awesome. It was a super fun event. You guys all know how I really like the NUE races. My goal is to try and get this race into the NUE series in the future. And I'm not afraid to say that out loud, because I feel like if you just keep saying stuff, like it might just like materialize. I've sent the guy who runs the series a couple emails, and he's never responded, which is fine. But I figure if we can get this event to the point where it is kind of caught on, I think we can maybe make some headways into that. What do you think, Chase?
Yeah. I think anything's possible, and I've said this in so many videos, but our area is a hidden gem, and it's not going to be a hidden gem for much longer.
No.
Between like the events, everything that you mentioned in the videos, and then like Brown County Mountain Biking, our local trail organization, is putting in a ton of work to just grow the trail system, get more eyes on it.
So we definitely have the support from all the municipalities and the trail associations, so we're excited to see what we can do. But because the NUE series is a 100-mile race series, for 2025, we are doing a 100-mile distance, a 60-mile distance, and we will still have a short 30-mile distance as well. But I'm really excited to show y'all this route that we built. We're gonna get into that in a second, but logistics, we're gonna start off with Chase talking about that.
The 2025 Hoosier Downcountry will be September 6th. Registration is live now. We linked that below. We are, like, the biggest change is that we're changing the start location from Story Inn, where we hosted last year, to Brown County State Park. We'll start and end at Raleigh Campground in the park. It allows us basically to get easier access to the Brown County State Park trails, add those in, which are going to be new.
We have to get to 100 miles.
Yeah, Jesse will touch on that, but while still having the same access to Yellowwood and Hoosier National. So super excited about that.
What is up? Along with the other exciting news from the new races that Chase and Jesse have brought you, this year we are also doing prize payouts for all of our races. That's Hoosier Downcountry, Glacial Drainage, and Karst Crusher. We have, as of now, unless some other sponsors want to just throw us some money, we have $1,000 payout for each race. So that means
Prize pool.
What did I say?
Payout.
Yeah, payout, prize, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, we have money for you if you want to go really fast in these races. We have $1,000 split between men and women. So first place, if you win the race, you get $250, whether you're a man or a woman. Second place, you get $150, and then third place gets $100. And then we're also gonna do swag packs. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. We're probably gonna pick some cool stuff from our store for fourth and fifth place. Yeah, this is for the longest distance of each race, specifically for Hoosier Downcountry, since the 60 mile is also a really big day on the bike. We're going to do swag packs for the podiums of that race. No money as of now, but you'll definitely get some cool stuff on top of just whatever our award is. And we have some cool ideas for awards too. So look forward to that. We're going to bring you the race course.
Yeah,
which
Trey helped with this, although he doesn't know where some of this stuff
I kind of helped, but Jesse did most of it because I was not local to this area and haven't ridden all these roads. Actually, I probably have ridden all of them, just not I don't know them.
Yeah, you've definitely been on these. I don't think you ever got out to Crooked Creek.
Yeah, I've ridden it 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
See, I know them all.
Could you drive there without a map?
No, definitely
There
not.
you go.
I can barely drive to the shop from my apartment without a map.
Speaking of maps, y'all, if you're going to sign up for this race, we do require a GPS because we've had instances of people taking our signage down. In the 2024 Hoosier Downcountry, I think we did our best job marking the course we've ever done. Don't trust that. And it's just, it's hard to...
That was our number one plus from that race, is everyone came back and was you guys marked the course so well.
Yeah.
Did you guys already say that this is starting in Brown County State Park?
We did.
I think that is the coolest thing that we have added to the new race.
So here's Columbus over here. Here's Bloomington. Here's Nashville. The race starts kind of deep into the state park in the rally campground, like Chase said. And it goes, we're going to neutral roll south.
And this is for the long and middle distances.
So we have the rally campground, and then it's going to go south on this road as a neutral rollout until we hit the dirt right here. This is the 10 o'clock line. This is a double track that's as wide as a car and a half. So we still have this is not a whole shot. There's plenty of time to get where you're supposed to be in the pecking order.
The race has time to play out before you ever hit single
a
track
lot of time.
or anything. So there's no hard pinch points.
Nah, not at all. So this is a double track. There's some climbs in there, nothing too crazy. It's kind of rolling. And then it keeps going south. And then this is where the first actual pinch point is, which is at mile 7. At this point, though, I don't think it'll be an issue at all. There's enough climbing in there, and I think people will have figured it out. This is one of the best trails ever in this area. This is a super fun and fast descent. It's a little bit of a gravelly trail. If you've ever heard me talk about it before on videos, it's Trail D is what I'm talking about. From Trail D, you will be going over into the creek. There's a sign with a bunch of bullet holes in it right here. And you literally ride into the creek bed and into another forest road. These were actually old roads that people drove on way back in the olden days, before they flooded Lake Monroe, man-made lake. The Blue Creek has a big climb in it, kind of short and steep, but this is where something interesting will happen. The 60-mile race will continue back north The 100-mile race goes south. So there'll be a split right here between the two distances. I'm going to continue along like we're talking about the 100-mile race, but just be aware that the courses are identical, except for the 60-mile does not do this, what I'm going to start calling it the Hoosier National Loop. This is all this south stuff is in the Hoosier National Forest down here. Continuing on with the 100-mile race, back on some gravel for a bit, and then you end up going to the Nebo trailhead. Last year, we did this the opposite direction, so you went south on Combs and north on Nebo. This year, we're doing it south on Combs, which is actually the more fun way to ride Combs. This is where we're gonna encounter, at the end of Nebo, we're gonna encounter Aid 1, which also doubles up as Aid 2. There's a bridge here that basically you will cross on the way out, and then on the way in, you'll cross it again and go the other way. The person at the aid station can help with that.
And that's mile 20, what is it?
It's 36 and 23.
Yeah, so 23 miles in is your first aid station. We tried to space them all out between like 20 and 25 miles, so hopefully you will never have to go more than like 2 hours without refill stations.
So the race course is pretty much the same as it was, just in a different order. The biggest change is that there's a lot less horse trail this year. Last year, experiencing it myself, it's really fun down there. Once we get to the end of this race, you'll understand from the horse trails down here just allows us to add more miles in the state park trails, which are what I think everybody is gonna come to this event to ride. And so we're gonna do kind of some of the best ones still. We're gonna go south on Trail 18 onto some gravel roads, and then take 4 back to 18, back on some gravel roads, and then Trail 19, which is a super fun one that we actually are now getting to do as part of the race. North onto Combs Road, and then back over to where the race split. So now, again, we are talking about both distances again. So this is the 60 and the 100 mile. At this point, this is where you ride the normally flooded road over Lake Monroe, which is hilarious.
And what is the chances of it being flooded? Because
Very, very low.
last year, I know there was like a handful of people that are like, oh, I don't want to do that race just in case it floods. I don't want to ride my super fancy, expensive bike through water.
So
At this time of year, it's never flooded.
Yeah.
It's just an open.
There might be water 2 weeks before, but
Yeah,
it'll dry.
it's like never
There's
flooded
gonna be a
this
couple
time of
inches.
year.
the worst case is that you can't see the road will have water over it, but it'll just be like as tall as your tire. Like, you know what I mean?
No worries.
Yeah, no worries at all. There's like a video of me on the internet like swimming across this with my bike. Like, it's not gonna be like that. There's no shot. So don't worry. We're gonna head back north up a pretty big pavement climb over to the Bartley Ridge gravel road, and then this is where you're gonna dive south onto the Lucas Hollow descent. This climb out of Lucas Hollow, that's technically part of the Tecumseh Trail, very hilly, so just be prepared for that. I remember last year, even though the conditions were so good, we had to dismount a couple times just because we spun out. Then you go back over to the main gravel road that gets you out here. That's where we're gonna have Aid 3. For people who race the 2024 race, Aid 3 is the same as Aid 1 was last year. This is at mile 55. If you've done the 100-mile race, this will be your third aid. If you're doing the 60-mile race, this is technically Aid 2.
Aid 1.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right, it's Aid 1. I apologize, it is Aid 1. So much math. So then we're gonna do the Crooked Creek Loop. This is where I was talking about where Sean attacked us right before the trail starts. Doing the full loop. This is a black diamond trail. There's rocks, it's not easy. I don't think it's dangerous at all, but it's definitely like a hard one. So just be prepared. Do the whole loop and then go back out to the gravel road. And this is where we are going to be backtracking on the same fire road that we went out back into the state park. You will ride past the start line.
And that's both distances.
Yes, yeah. To Aid 4.
Or If
2
you're doing
or
a
4.
60-mile race.
Yeah, 2 or 4. And then this is where you're going to enter the mountain bike trail. So we're going to start off with Limekiln. For people who are familiar with Brown County, I'll try to say the trail names. The Limekiln Trail, over to Walnut, over to Hobbs Hollow, doing the full Hobbs Hollow.
Blow, bro.
Yeah. It's the longest trail in the park.
For your enduro bike.
Yeah, just for that part. We're going to be climbing Hesitation Point after Hobbs Hollow, hitting the Westgate Flow Trail, over to Bobcat. This is going to be the most challenging trail of the day. I think it's as hard as Crooked Creek, but most people would say it's harder.
I
What's
say it's
your
harder.
thought, Trey?
Technically harder.
Technically harder.
Agreed.
Technical skills come into play.
Don't be afraid to walk if you have to. It's not, like I said, I don't think it's dangerous by any means, but
It's not dangerous.
It's just techie.
it's just techie.
It's just a techie, lots of tight 180 turns and such.
If you're coming early and you were gonna be able to pre-ride one trail, Crooked Creek and Bobcat are the 2 hardest trails of the day. And if you're like comfortable on those trails, everything else is way easier, if that makes sense. Gonna climb out of there and go down the Ames descent, and we're gonna do the full Green Valley Trail, which I think is Hobbs is probably the most popular trail we have, but if you're like an XC guy, Green Valley is the most popular trail, and it was the most popular trail before Hobbs existed. So we're gonna do the full Green Valley loop, climb North Tower, which I think is hilarious that you have to climb it. Normally this trail is like pretty much downhill the whole way, but we're gonna go the other way. Down towards the pool, do a quick pine loop, and then this is where we're gonna hit aid 5, or would it be 3?
5 or 3.
5 or 3. Yeah, 5 or 3.
At mile, what is it?
92.
So you're 8 miles away, right
We-
before you hit the hardest climb of the day.
No, it's not the hardest, but
That sounds chill.
At mile 92,
So,
it will be hard.
just be aware, we thought about this for a while. 4 to 5 is a little bit longer than we would like, but there's not any way logistically to make it make sense. And just understand that you definitely want to be stocked up at aid 4 going towards aid 5.
There's nothing.
Because it's 20, we're at 68 to 92.
So it's 24 miles.
24 miles of all single track.
We tried really hard to keep it 20, but we just couldn't. I don't think that's a problem. If you're planning your race, just understand that that's going to be a longer stretch of time, and definitely I would recommend aid 4 is going to be our biggest aid station, just because it's at the start line. We're going to have the most supplies there, so it'll be a good place to get those supplies, but just make sure you do that because you're going to want them going into the final 40 miles of the race. Okay, one quick disclaimer. The state park, this route is my proposal to them, our proposal to them, and we're fairly confident that it's gonna be good to go, but we cannot guarantee that this is exactly what it'll look like. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but just because we need to iron that out with them, just understand that we might change the route, and we will definitely update you with emails. It's not gonna really change the vibe or the distance or anything. It just might be maybe we need to go back on the trail, and I can just adjust this to make that happen. Hopefully though, we don't have to do that, because I think this is a really good way to end the race. We're gonna take a break from the trail and ride this gradual long pavement climb back towards the finish line. It's a fairly big climb.
It's pretty long.
It's like 500-foot climb, but it's paved, so I think it'll just be kind of a sit and spin situation. I also think that this is where, if you're in a race for whatever position, it's probably where you're gonna figure it out. It's like a 2-mile stretch of pavement. The race does end on trail though. Then you will do the Weed Patch Flow Trail, and make sure you have enough energy left to climb out of Weed Patch. This is a long climb, big down, big up, and then you'll hop on the road for just 30 seconds and then duck back in and do the other half of the Limekiln Trail over to the finish line right here. And that is exactly 100 miles. So yeah, that is Hoosier Down Country 2025, September 6th. We really want to try to grow this event, so we'd love it if y'all signed up if you were interested in this. The 30-mile race will just be in the state park. It might be 35 miles or something like that. But if you're looking for a shorter event, we'll have that too. That one, I'm less concerned about what the route is, so no worries there.
All the trails were good.
It'll probably be close to the end of the 160.
I'm hoping it's just the same loop.
The same loop.
Like, it probably will be the same loop. The comment section is open. If y'all have any questions about the race, definitely ask. And if y'all
Want to go? Sign up.
yeah, we'll have the link.
Sign up, reserve your camping spot, stay for a week before or after the race in Brown County State Park. It'll be fun. And you can come to the shop. That's a 30-minute drive from the race.
25, but
25 if you have a BMW sports car.
oh no, that could
That's
be
like
15.
15 then.
15 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Anyway,
bye.
bye.